Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Ram Ram
जय
Ram
श्री
Ram
कृष्ण
Hare
चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today is Wednesday. It is 27th of March. It is Chaitra Masa or Vishnu Masa, Krishna Paksham and Vidya Tithi. So there are no Vaishnava events today. We shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj under meditation, a Lord in the heart. Meditate on the Lord in the heart. So one has to, irrespective of time, place, and circumstances, situate himself when he decided to leave this material world and this material body, and then controlling his senses completely. Controlling his senses, mind, and the life air. And then, so he has to make himself ready to leave. So likewise, it is Stiram Sukham Stiram Sukham cha Asanam Asto Yatihi Yada Jihastu Imamanga Lokam Kale cha Deshe cha Manu Nasajjayet Prana Niyached Manasa Jitasuhu. So one has to control all his senses, mind, and life air when he decided to leave his material world. So in the further sequence, so after controlling his senses, mind, and everything, life air, and what he needs to do. So Sukadeva Goswami today he says that so by his purified intelligence and his mind, the yogi controlling himself and bringing everything merge into the Atma, merge into the himself, the Kshetrajna or the owner of the body. And then he merged that one Atma into super soul. In such a way, one will be get the peacefulness, the complete peacefulness and the satisfaction. And he ceases from all kinds of activities. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, so we are in the second canto, second chapter, verse number 16. Manah swabudhya amalaya niyamya Chetadhayetam ninayetam atmani atmanam atmani avruddhadiro labdhopashantihi virameta krutyat manah swabudhya amalaya niyamya manah, the mind, swabudhya, by his own intelligence, manah swabudhya, by his mind and own intelligence, amalaya niyamya, with a purified amalaya is the complete free from all kinds of any dirt. Amalaya or unalloyed liyamya, by regulating this mind and intelligence. Kshetrajnayetam ninayettam atmani. So onto the living entity, Kshetrajna. Onto the living entity, etam ninayettam atmani. Etam, all of these, the mind, intelligence, he will ninayet, merge into the soul, tam atmani, into himself. Manasubudhya amalaya niyamya chetadhayetam ninayattam atmani. So he has to merge his mind, intelligence, the purified intelligence, everything into the soul. And Atmanam Atmani Avrujhadiro. And then Tam Atmani Atmanam. And that self, that soul into the super soul. So now what he has done, the mind intelligence merged into the soul. Now the soul needs to merge into the super soul. Likewise, our Jadiro, and he is being locked up like that. Dhiraha is the fully satisfied. Labdopashantihi viremeta kurichat, and he will attain all kinds of upashantihi, complete peacefulness and full of bliss. What happens after that? Viremeta kurichat, he will be free from all kinds of material activities, all other activities. Kurichat. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, Manasubhujya amalaya niyamya chetadhyayetam ninayettamatmani atmani atmanam atmani avrujhadiro labdhopashantihi virameta kuruchat. So translation for this verse. Thereafter, the yogi should merge his mind by his unalloyed intelligence into the living entity and then merge the living entity into the super self. And by doing this, the fully satisfied living entity becomes situated in the supreme stage of satisfaction, so that he ceases from all other activities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So can I request Sita Sundari Mataji to read if purport, if available?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Just a little bit. Okay. The function of mind are thinking, feeling, and willing. When the mind is materialistic or absorbed in the contact, it acts for material advancement of knowledge, destructively ending in discovery of nuclear weapons. But the mind acts under spiritual hours. It acts wonderfully for going back home, back to Godhead, for the life in complete blissful and eternity. Therefore, the mind has to be manipulated by good and unalloyed intelligence. Perfect intelligence is the rendering service unto the Lord. One should be intelligent enough to understand that the living being is in a circumstances a servant of the circumstances. Every living being is serving the dictates of desire, anger, lust, illusion, instantly, and enviousness, all materially affected. But even while executing such dictations of different temperament, he is perpetually unhappy. When one actually feels this and turns his intelligence to inquiring about it from the right source, he gets information of the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Instead of serving materially for the above mentioned different humors of the body, the living entity's intelligence then becomes freed from the unhappiness, illusion of materialistic temperament. And thus, by unalloyed intelligence, the mind is brought into the service of the Lord. The Lord and his service are identical, being on the absolute plane. Therefore, the unalloyed intelligence and the mind are merged into the Lord. And thus the living entity does not remain a seer himself, but because seen by the Lord and transcendentally. When the living entity is directly seen by the Lord dictates to him to act according to his desire. And when the living entity follows him perfectly, the living entity ceases to discharge any other duty for his illusory satisfaction. In his pure, unalloyed state, the living being attains the stage of full bliss, labdhapashanti, and ceases all material knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Material hankerings. Thank you so much, Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here in this purport, Prabhupada is mentioning about advancement of the. So when the mind is materialistic or absorbed in it, it always progress. It advances. If it is engaged in the bad things, it will progress in the bad things. If it is engaged in the good things, it will go into good things. Advancement. So Prabhupada is saying, so if it is engaged in the materialistic things, it will go towards the nuclear weapons, such kind of destructing the material nature and everything else, horrible works. And then if it is engaged in the devotional service, it is turning back to Godhead for life in the complete bliss and eternity. So that is mind to be manipulated, has to be manipulated by the good and unalloyed intelligence. This is very, very beautiful point. So this one, when the baby in the womb, he also tasmadahum vigata, he mentions to the Lord, I would use this human life with a purified intelligence to come back to Godhead and to render the service to the Lord. So he meant it is one of his vow to be manipulated by good and unalloyed intelligence. Perfect intelligence is to render service to the Lord. So that is the devotional service. And otherwise, whenever he is engaging in all his material things, it is always a destructive thing. So Prabhupada mentions he will be servant of one of the eight mind, desire, anger, lust, illusion, insanity, and enviousness. So he has to serve all these things. And Prabhupada is mentioning one has to bring the mind into the service of the Lord, and his services are identical. So there is no difference between devotional service and the Lord. So whenever, like in the Gita Mahatmya also, wherever there is Bhagavad Gita is heard, Srimad Bhagavatam is heard about the Lord, their Lord is present within that Sangha devotees association. So that is the purport. And whenever therefore the unalloyed intelligence and the mind are merged into Lord, and the living entity does not remain seer himself, but becomes seen by the Lord transcendentally. So this is very beautiful. So at that time, the living entity he feels Muktashri mirhi nirvishim viraktam nirvanamrutyati manaha yas sahasa yatachihi. So he will be just like he sees himself with the Supreme Lord, merging. He is one in the quality. Nirvanamrutyati manaha sahasa yatachihi. So it is mentioned. And later on, his body will come under the direct supervision of the Lord. Dehopi daivashagaha kalu karma yavat varambakam samikshata eva sasuhu tam saprapancham adhoda samadhi yogaha Swapnam Purana Bhajde Pratibuddha Vastuhu. And he sees everything. This material body is a temporary dream. And he sees his body is always under the direct supervision of the Supreme Lord. So that is what Lord uses his body for all the, because he wanted to fulfill the Lord's desires. Then Lord That statement is also, Lord dictates to him to act according to his desire. So likewise, Prabhupada is beautifully saying this statement. So in this pure unalloyed state, the living being attains the stage of full bliss, that is called Labdhopashanti, and ceases all material hankerings. He doesn't require any other material things. Likewise, Prabhupada is mentioning here. So like Sukadeva Goswami is saying, yogi has to, the yeti, he has to merge all his mind intelligence into the soul and then soul into the supreme soul. In such a way, he will attain ultimate happiness and satisfaction. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Manasvabudhya amalaya niyamya khetrajna yetam nyanayettam atmani atmanam avarujhadiro labdhopashantihi virameta krutyat. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly enter into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is a letter to again Shyamadasi, second letter to Shyamadasi, January 26, 1970. Can I request Usha Mataji, would you like to read this letter?
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. My dear Shyamdasi, please accept my blessings. I beg to thank you very much for your nice letter dated 23rd January 1970. Your poetic appreciation about my humble self goes directly to my spiritual master because I am his servant only. Although I have no capacity to estimate all the nice things that you offer me, they are directly dispatched to my spiritual master who is worthy of accepting all nice things. I am very glad to see that both you and your husband are a good combination. Everyone should be happy by your unique unity. Your husband is a learned scholar and you are a well-qualified devotee wife. Now, by the grace of Krishna, you have a good husband, good association, good land, and good engagements. Similarly, you have got a very good atmosphere in Columbus. So, be happy with all these Krishna's gifts and be advanced in Krishna consciousness. I thank you very much for your handkerchief, which will be immediately engaged in the service of the Lord. It is so beautiful with lace edges. I am so glad to learn that Columbus Center is doing very well, and that sincere souls are being attracted there. Please, devotee, please decorate the new deity room and altar as nicely as possible. I well remember your excellent chapatis, and I am happy to know that you are now preparing nice food stuff for the deities. Chapatis, sorry. Yeah. If you all will spend this Sankirtana moment going to Sankirtana party in the streets, regularly read our literatures and always keep engaged in Krishna consciousness activities, you are sure to increase the joyfulness of your own lives and influence all others with whom you come to contact to join you in this program of going back to home, back to Godhead. I hope this will meet you in very good health. My dear Haigriva, I have advised Jananibas to submit his thesis for publication in BTG. So please do the needful. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, from this letter?
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Prabhupada is very happy to that the husband and wife is engaging in Krishna consciousness, and the husband is is saying like a unity, unique unity. So because the husband and wife, it is in the Krishna consciousness, so it's very good, and then they can understand both each other's and get good progress in Krishna consciousness. And so then she gave the gift to Prabhupada to like a handkerchief or some, and then Prabhupada is like very happy to, and then he said, "It's not for me. I'm going to give it." It's like going to a spiritual master is giving, and the handkerchief she gifted to then Prabhupada is using in Krishna's service. So that is very good. So like Prabhupada likes it like beautiful. It is decorated very nicely with the laces, and that she is very good at cooking. So I said, okay, you just whatever you preparing the food, then is good. You can offer to deities, and Prabhupada is very happy to see her like she can cook very nicely. And that other things is spreading the Krishna Sankirtan movement and Krishna Sankirtan party in Columbus. So its activity is going very well. And yes, so it's thinking about the said it's going to back to Godhead about your joyfulness, and this is a good thing to engaging in Krishna consciousness activities. Yeah, that's it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other points, dear devotees? You wanted to add? Okay, so in this letter, any appreciations that goes to the spiritual master? Prabhupada is so humbly saying, my some appreciation about my humble self goes directly to my spiritual master. So that is, we don't take anything personally. So it is all spiritual master, his blessings and benedictions and the disciple. So your thing goes to spiritual master and Krishna. Whatever we have got, we have to be satisfied. Krishna is saying, Prabhupada is saying, be happy with all these Krishna's gifts and be advanced in Krishna consciousness. Everything else will be automatically come. That is, everything is good husband, good association, good land, good engagement. That is, so that is one thing. So that is my takeaway from this letter. And so wherever we go, so everyone who are come in contact with a devotee, they will get an opportunity going back to home, back to Godhead. So, so that is one more point. This is we need to take. That is whenever we are properly situated with steady intelligence and mind, and our activities will be streamlined. And wherever we go, anyone who is come in contact with us, they will all be purified, and they are ready to go back to home, back to Godhead. This is my takeaway point from this letter. Any other additions, dear devotees?
Bol Prabhu, Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada is insisting on regular reading literatures. So he's again encouraging you.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. It's a very beautiful point. So this is one has to engage. Previously, it is very hard to open a book and even to read a few lines. Such kind of lazy environment, the material education made us like that. But once we start reading Prabhupada books, it opens the wisdom complete. And every day we read the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, every day morning Bhagavad Gita, every day evening Bhagavatam. Like that one, if he engages, he will be perfect devotee in the future. And then he will not ever leave. So he will be always engaging Swadhyaya Purusharchanam, studying the scriptures. In that way, he is doing the archana to the Supreme Lord by studying the scriptures. Prabhupada, thank you so much, Mataji, for that point. Any other points?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I don't know if it's been mentioned about the BTG publication as well. That was mentioned at the bottom there.
Yes,
Probably was mentioned, but I couldn't hear it properly.
Yeah, it's a thesis. Janivas Prabhu was, so on the few days back, there was letter to Janivas Prabhuji about his articles that needs to be published in Back to Godhead. So, and just it is information to Haigriva Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Mataji. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got Kirtan evening at 8:30 p.m. That is our upcoming event. And that's all from me, dear devotees. If you have got any other updates or you want to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no further updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो नमः।
अनन्तकोटि
Nandakuti Vaishnavendra ki jai.
प्रभुपाद की
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna conscious everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Nityananda, Shri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara Srivasadi
Gadadhara
Gaura
Srivasadi
Bhakti